Hey guys, Chari5 here. I wanted to make a little video for you guys before I get to recording other stuff regarding yesterday's video. And if you haven't seen it yet, it's a creepy narration of a story that I found on Reddit. And its name was what really got a lot of people's attention. Um, and rightfully so, because a lot of people were concerned about me and how I was. Uh, and they thought that the video title was misleading or that it was clickbait. That's not at all what I intended to do. That was just the name of the story that I'd found. And the thing is, October's come around, and about 3 years ago, I started what I wanted to make a tradition, but I haven't really done it since, called Creepy Month, where throughout the entire month of October, I do creepy narrations. And, one story every day. Sometimes not even narrated by me, narrated by my friends who are also very talented and are really into creepy narrations. You guys should go check out the playlist for the 2013 one. You can see what it was when I was younger, the stories that I picked out. It was mostly creepypastas back then. Not that it's much different now, but the stories that I have right now are not so much considered creepypastas. They're just creepy stories. Um, as opposed to like the urban legends and stuff that I did back in the day. And a lot of you showed concern over, how I was because I didn't put any kind of warning. Uh, I guess it really was my fault because I thought that two little like apostrophes, quotation marks, would suffice to explain that it wasn't me I was talking about, that it was just a story. So a lot of people got concerned. I changed the video title to add a little creepy narration, parentheses at the end. Then people told me that it would be better because it wasn't showing up in the notification box, that I should put it at the beginning of the title, so I did. And I guess that made a lot of things better for people. But when it first got posted, a lot of people got really concerned, really worried, and I just wanted to thank all of you. It really meant a lot to me to read a lot of people were concerned about my well being and how I was feeling and how I was doing. But this isn't what this video is about. I'm very, very appreciative that a lot of you guys took the time out of your day to um, tell me that you would feel really sad and that you were on the verge of tears almost, thinking that I had done something to myself or that I planned to do something to myself. Not the case, not at all. I'm very content where I am right now. Um, I have not had these kind of destructive thoughts for a while, and that's what I'm trying to get at mostly right now is that you guys should all stay very safe. I know firsthand what it's like to have these kind of thoughts and sort of a destructive mindset because my mind isn't the only one to do it. I know a lot of other people whose minds race, uh, and they have a very heavy association to other things, and all these different thought processes lead them to want to end their lives, and that is not the solution at all. Um, a couple of years ago, I was going through some really, really rough stuff, and I look back on that now, and I think to myself how grateful I am that all that stuff happened to me because, like it or not, it made me a stronger person and it made me appreciate um, a lot of other things. And I think to myself, if I could make it through that, I can make it through almost anything. Everything else compared to the amount of stuff that was going on at the time doesn't compare. Uh, I grew up with anxiety my whole life, especially when I was a child. I was diagnosed with anxiety. I was very shy. I had no friends, especially since we moved around a lot when I was a kid back in California. And I didn't really have the time to make friends. And even when I did make friends, it wouldn't last long. I was very shy. I was very full of myself. And I try to be more humble every single day. Thinking back on the kind of kid I was, um, when I see like home videos and stuff, it makes me realize why I might have not had friends, and it confused me back in the day. Like, why didn't I have these things? I didn't know that I had anxiety. I didn't know what it was. I just knew that I had it, and as I grew older, I I developed out of it, and I forgot that I even had it to begin with. And then one day I found the notes and the psychologist papers that were given to my parents when I was younger, stating that I had anxiety, and it was a punch to the face because I didn't even know I had that. I just thought that I was a shy kid, and that I was being misjudged by that. But after that, it was moving here to Mexico, sort of verbal abuse from a lot of kids at school. I came from two different worlds, and I guess I had an attitude and a face that a lot of people didn't like, and I still do, sadly. But it was just a conglomerate of things that got me depressed a lot, and that was the way it was during elementary school, middle school, and come high school. I don't know what it was that I wanted to change for the better, and I got out of my shell. Like, I stopped being shy, and I started to become a more active person. I talked. That was my phone. I talked to a lot of different people. I was way more sure of myself, cracking a lot of jokes, and things just seemed different for me. Like, aside from people that were now more mature, they now talked to me. They now enjoyed being with me, and it was all a matter of attitude. And I was thankful for all that. And I decided to have this change in attitude at a very good time too, because that's when a lot of really tough times started for me in my life. Um, and I'm grateful that I had the right attitude to deal with it, even if half the time it was just me crying or complaining or, you know, all that. But at least I had a more positive attitude than I would have otherwise. I managed to deal with it without having these hurtful thoughts about myself, which I still do. I still, belittle myself a lot, but not to the point where I want to hurt myself because I remember thinking, not me personally, but there were people in middle school that thought that self harm was something to take their mind off of the emotional pain. And it really isn't, because emotional pains go away. Emotions, thankfully, I guess, despite how hurtful they may be and how much they linger, even more so than like physical pain, they do go away. But when you hurt yourself, that pain stays with you visibly. Like, you can look back on scars that you may have inflicted on yourself, and it'll bring you back to that time. So I guess just, stay safe. Don't do that to yourself. It's really not worth it in the long run, because you're going to look back on that scar one day and think to yourself, "Oh my god, I was so stupid. I can't believe I ever thought that way before." Uh and life is short. When you start growing up, you realize more and more how short the days become. I kind of have this saying that I go to sleep on New Year's and I wake up at Christmas, because that's just the way the days start to feel. Like, when you're having fun, days go by really quickly, and when you're working, days go by really slowly. But either way, you start to realize how fast time is going. It seems like just yesterday I was at too many games with my friends, or that I was in California spending Christmas with my mom's family, something we'd never done before, and it's already almost Christmas again because we're in October. Um, but yeah, talk, talk, talk. That's something my mother always has told my sister and I, and it still holds true to this day. The best thing you can do when going through certain uh, problems is speak it to someone, to a friend, to your parents, to your family, whomever. Uh, it's not easy. It's really not easy, because you're afraid of how the people that you're telling it to are going to respond. You don't know how the people you're telling your problems to are going to respond, if they're going to speak positively or negatively. You don't know what the reaction's going to be. You don't know how they're going to judge you. And that's another thing. Like, everyone has their own problems. My problems are not the same as yours. Yours are not the same as mine. And even if yours, or like, even if mine are worse than yours, it's still gonna matter more to me because it's my life. Like, despite, even if it's like a small thing, it's still something really huge to me. That you might not find as big. You might have already gone through it, which is why you don't find it as problematic. But everyone leads their own lives, and everyone reacts to pain in different ways. But that doesn't justify wanting to hurt yourself or wanting to harm yourself, because you don't know how you're going to leave everyone else. You don't know how much other people are hurting because of you, and because of what you leave behind. What you want to do is find peace, get rid of all the problems, and you don't want to be a burden to anyone else. I know what the pain is like, and I know what that feels like. I know it really well, but then you have to think about, you say you don't want to be a burden, but by doing this, you are just leaving more problems to everyone who's still around, and that's just not a good, it's not a good idea or a good feeling. Like I said, talk to anyone you can. I didn't want to talk about any of my problems a few years ago because it didn't feel right. It didn't feel right to complain about how things were going when I knew that a lot of people were doing much worse. Thankfully, in high school, one of my teachers, who was just a really, really dear friend of me, she's a psychologist, and I went down to her offices one day after I was done with high school, and I just couldn't take it anymore. I was so overwhelmed with what was going on at the time, how I was feeling. I didn't feel confident enough to tell my parents because I didn't know how they would react. I was afraid that they would react negatively. So I decided to, for the first time in like 10 years, go back to a psychologist and tell her about my problems. She was totally fine with it. She encouraged it, in fact, and she told me how brave I was that someone at my age went to her. Like, because a lot of people, and myself included, we don't like thinking that something's wrong with us. We don't like thinking that we have a problem, maybe we're crazy, that we're feeling this way, and it's really not, because going to a professional is probably one of the bravest things you can do, because you're admitting to the fact that you have a problem and you're trying to solve it firsthand by going to a professional. You can talk to your friends, you can talk to your family, but sometimes they'll just try to tell you what to do instead of actually give you advice or listen to you, because sometimes all people need is for you to listen to them, hear them out. Don't give your insight on it at all. Just listen, because sometimes, no matter what advice you give us, it's not going to help, even if it's the best advice. And like, it's terrible that it has to be that way. It's terrible that a lot of us don't listen, even when it's good advice. But that just goes to show that sometimes listening is the best thing you can do at the time. So I went to her and I pretty much drained out all my feelings, and I told her what was going on with me. And she had nothing to say. All she could offer me at that point was a hug. She listened to everything I had to say about what was going on throughout the course of the year. Actually, I think it was around this time when I went to go visit her. And she asked me if she could give me a hug, and I encouraged it. I very much encouraged her doing so, because that was something else I think I needed. And a lot of you may think that that was very unprofessional, like the fact that she didn't offer any advice, or that she didn't associate anything with anything else, tell me that I had a problem. She offered me like a plan to, go see her every other week or every week, I don't remember. But it was just something that I didn't want my parents to go through. I didn't want them to pay for something that I could probably get over, and I did. Like, I was so overwhelmed with all the problems that I was going through that after I talked to her, they just lifted. It was like a huge just weight got lifted off my back. And I honestly couldn't explain it because I had said the exact same thing to a lot of other people. Like, some of my friends I'd already told the exact same things I told her, and it didn't make me feel any better. But for some reason, knowing that I was so helpless that not even a psychologist could help me made me feel better in a weird way. Like, it made me feel better and it made me, just lift my spirits. I still get sad a lot. I still get really depressed. A lot of things that happen, a lot of things that didn't go out as planned. Um, but thankfully, I know how to deal with it in a very positive light. YouTube, you guys have helped me a lot to deal with my anxiety, to work up the confidence to do a lot of things. I think that YouTube was where a lot of my confidence came from in high school, and the kind of confidence that I have now. Not that I have a lot of it, but it did help a great deal. And just reaching out to people and knowing that I have a lot of people right now. I have more friends now than I ever had throughout my entire life, and that was just something I really wanted as a kid. To have friends. Like, that was the one thing I wanted, and now I have it in like baskets. I don't really know how to say it, but I am very thankful for what I have right now. There's a lot that I'm aiming for. There's a lot that I still want out of life. And I think that's something else that you should think about during the day. Just think about all the things you haven't experienced yet. I often think about that a lot, and how I strive to experience it. Like, a lot of things that people have done at my age, I still haven't experienced yet. And I'm looking forward to the day when that does happen, when I'm able to finally experience it. There are a lot of things in life that are out of our hands, and it sucks. It really does suck, but it's just something that we get by. That's what I do. What I do. I love to entertain. I love to make people laugh. I love to, know that I'm making someone's day by cracking a joke, or like right now with Creepy Month, reading creepy narrations that people might enjoy, even if it's not funny, but people might enjoy my interpretations, the reading, and that's really what I want to do. I want to make people happy, because I know what it's like to be unhappy, and it sucks, and I know that I'm thankful for the people out there that have made my crappy day much, much better. And that's what I want to do to help a lot of people. That I was telling someone throughout the week that that's also why I do charity streams and charity donations and all that, because for the longest time throughout my teenage years, my adolescence, I hated knowing that there were a lot of sick people out there, that it wasn't fair, especially when it comes to kids, which is why I love that I'm doing Extra Life right now. That there are a lot of sick kids out there that don't have the chance to live the life that I got to live, or that a lot of other people got to live. And when you're older, you realize, especially with the medium that I have, which is, online stuff that can reach out to a lot of people, I can either sit down and complain about it and not do anything about it, or I can use the medium that I have at my disposal and use that to help other people. And I'm glad that I've used it to help other people. And that's what I'm trying to do right now, too. If you have these thoughts, I'm not saying that it's going to be one day to another, like it was for me, where you can just magically feel better because of something. I don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe you will feel better about it if you just talk it to someone. But even if you don't, it's a working process. You have to find reasons you want to live. Thinking about right now, enjoying the moment, reminiscing sometimes feels really nice. Thinking about what you're going to do tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Hell, you don't know what's going to happen later today. But it's so fun to think about what might happen and how you can make that happen. There's a lot to look forward to, guys. Sadness is something inevitable. It's something we're all feeling. It's something we're all going to feel at some given point in time again. But know that you're not alone. reach out to other people that are maybe feeling the same way that you are, and maybe you can help each other out. That's the beauty of being in the human race, is that we're not alone. Despite how different and how secluded we feel from other people, we're not alone. And we can do a lot to help each other out. And I know that you can all make this world a much better place. So I think I've gone on long enough. I really just expected to make this a really short thing. And if you stayed here, thank you so much for watching. Share this with someone who you know might be feeling a little upset. I wanted to share my story so that you know that even though I may seem like someone who is oozing with confidence and someone who is just funny all the time, I don't know if you think I'm funny. I hope you do. Please, please, I need the money. But really, it's not about that. I just appreciate people enjoying what I do. But I wanted you guys to know that I'm human too. Everyone out there is human. We all go through depression. We all go through anxiety, some more than others. But we all get sad, we all get depressed, and sometimes we even all have these destructive thoughts. But that doesn't mean we can't make it through. I use myself as an example a lot. And I often say, if I can do it, anyone can do it. That's how low I think of myself, I think. But it's true. Like, if I can make it through really, really crappy times, you can do it too. And I know you can do it because you're an awesome person. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And if you're not an awesome person and you don't think that you're an awesome person, then strive to become an awesome person. Strive to become someone that you are. Don't lose the essence of who you are, but become someone that you know is going to make their self happy with who they are. Make yourself content with who you are. And don't try to make other people's lives worse as a result. So anyway, again, I rambled on for a bit there. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you everybody for the concern. And please stay safe. Please talk to somebody. Not going to repeat myself because I think I've done that far enough. But until next time, there's going to be a new video today. Again, I still need to go record it because the last two videos were just something spontaneous that I had recorded. And I was like, hey, October's here, I might as well upload them. So I'm going to go do my fair share of recordings right now. And I will talk to you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and stay safe and stay awesome. This is Char5, signing off.